Academy, Nyenga. And I take this opportunity to say welcome again. My name is Buro Crescent, one among the team that is trying to replicate the SINA framework to Nyenga community and abroad. But slightly, I want to first share my little bit story of how I got into this system. Yes, after an intense going through the SINA model for over 2 years, I had a privilege of joining the replication journey that was focusing on trying to expand the SINA model to different areas. And with my passion also to join the SINA model, I thought this would be now my opportunity also to create a change, mainly for young individuals in Uganda, more especially to the community that I come from, that they could be empowered and create a change that they wish to see. Yes, I grew up in a family of 10, which was a rural-based family that could believe in education of Uganda, which was formal, that everything after educating a son through formal education, that son is able to get employment and get rich to support back the family. So with my family financial status of relying on a $1, they managed to teach me, educate me up to secondary level, that is senior 6, that afterwards they couldn't again afford to pay school fees for the university. So with that, I became stranded of what to do after senior 6. That was to look for a lot of opportunity that could support me continue with education. So in my 1 year stay at home, looking for where to go after my senior 6, I managed to get an opportunity from a stranger whom I never knew even, that there is an opportunity for scholarship program that is intended for entrepreneurship experience. So I applied, and after applying, I managed to go through. Thank God for that. And with that, I managed to learn more about what SINA does. And with what I learned, it was about you yourself trying to interact with you, the inner person in you, get feedback from people, get support from people, and you try to create something that will be sustainable to your life. So I thought this is an opportunity for me also to engage into the system, and I get what I needed, because all the eyes of the family were on me to support my siblings, which are following me. So it was a great pleasure that I met my 2 team members who were also sharing the same passion of trying to replicate the SINA model, that they show something that we can join in hand and to come up with something that we really would try to replicate to the Nyenga, and I became willing to join. That's when I got this opportunity to also join them, and we start something that would empower the youth in Nyenga and abroad so that they can become the change they wish to see. Yes, I'll be inviting many people, the team members also to introduce themselves as we are starting our event. And there is a lot of expectations that I wish I share with you after the introduction of our team members. Yes, let me start with Hope to introduce herself and can tell more about herself. Thank you.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone. This is Chawe Hope Amal, also a team member in Nyenga Foundation and a co-founder. I'll also tell you shortly about my story, how I managed to get here in Nyenga Foundation or in Nyenga. So also growing up with a single mother in Jinja, I managed to go to school, but at some point I had to drop out of school because my siblings also had to. Growing up and being in between jobs, doing some jobs around, you go ask for a job, what the jobs I could work on or the only jobs I could take over. So one time I was online on WhatsApp, someone tried to send me a link since I was looking for jobs and looking for opportunities. I applied. When I applied, still I had to move on with my work because I had to help my mother into feeding the family and other stuff. So when I applied one time, I got a call for me to join Django International for my replication journey. And I was very grateful that I had to get this chance to have to change my mindset, not to work in bars anymore and not to do some other jobs that were not comfortable for me, that because I had to work and look for money. So I'm so grateful for this opportunity to bring it in Nyenga near my hometown so that we also support these youths to come and start up their jobs. So I'm very grateful to be here and I'm very grateful with our online members that are watching us and also the one that are on ground. I'm very grateful that we are going to share with you our journey here in Nyenga and we are launching our journey. Hope all goes well and I'm so grateful to see you people here. So I'll have to pass on to my other teammate to share with you also shortly about his story, how he came about to Nyenga Foundation or to be a co-founder of this organization. Thank you so much. Charles, I hand over to you.
Yes. Hello, everyone.
Hello, Charles.
Yeah, so I'm really excited and super happy to be here on this online event that we as Kiira Nyenga Social Innovation Academy decided to have and invite all of you, our dear guests, to show you and give you a snippet of what the social innovation in Nyenga is going to do, what kind of impact it is going to create, and also to see our coexistence with our sister organization, which is Nyenga Foundation. So my name is Charles Kamya, and I'm a Ugandan. I am one person whom I can say I struggled throughout my life, having lost my parents at a tender age when my papa died when I was just 2 years, and then my mom died when I was 7 years. This meant a lot living in the Ugandan communities, for example, which cannot offer a lot, to a point where I even got rejected by my own relatives and things like that. But by the mercy of God, I maneuvered through from my mother's friends. For example, a lady called Margaret who brought me up. She was just a friend to my mom, and she supported us to grow up while we also looked for school fees. She could only provide feeding, and we had a task of looking for our own school fees. And I am proud of myself that I really never went into other things. Some children resort to drug addiction, some resort to go to street and steal and things like those. But I kept on inspiring myself. I kept on being a parent to myself, to speak to myself, and I supported myself through the education system. However, at some point, when it came about time to join the university, I was serving in a restaurant, and then a certain German gentleman who was advanced in age, after going through different conversation with him, he decided to pay my tuition at the university for 3 years. And this is how I got a chance to attend education. However, I also started looking out for the jobs after the university. It was a tricky moment. For example, when we just got done with university, my girlfriend got pregnant, and then we had to take care of the pregnancy and also the baby amidst the situations where we couldn't, or we didn't even have a job. So I hooked up with friends around, made connections. I moved out of my comfort zone. The pregnancy moved me out of my comfort zone. So I tried out so many things until the point when I got in touch with my German friend who was coming up with an organization. It was called Global Match. And then at some point I traveled to Deutschland to make ends meet for 3 months, for 4 months. And then when the projects got a little bit stuck, that was the period when I saw the advert of Nyenga Foundation advertising about the special application and the SINA model. So I went through it and read about the program, I read about what SINA is, what they are doing. I saw the impact that SINA is creating, and I quickly talked to myself and I was like, yeah, this is really something that I can do to give back to the community, because the community raised me up by giving me the petty jobs that I did to support myself throughout the school. And then if I really get this opportunity to support my community where I come from, which is Nyenga, and it was something that I imagined venturing in. And then we came for scholar selection, and luckily I got chosen among the 4 people that were needed. It was a special moment because if I'm to remember, the advert needed people who are not married, needed people who are above the age of 30. For sure, I had 29 years by then, so by age I would qualify, but then the fact that I was married, I had a family, I wouldn't qualify. But then luckily the panel chose me, and I don't really regret, and I thank a lot whoever participated and invested in this replication journey, because it has impacted us a lot, starting from our character development, personal growth, professional growth, social entrepreneurship, the tools and methods that we are going to use to impact our fellow youth and peers, and also to support our communities, are really extraordinary. I do not really regret, and I really can't wait to, I cannot wait to also pass these same skills to my fellow peers, the youth, and also any other beneficiary that may come along our way. So in brief, that is all about me, and this is what I have for the beginning. I have no any other introduction that I can make, unless if anyone wants to ask something before we dive into our actual tour. So you give me a thumb up, or you raise up the hand and then ask something or inquire about anything before that, and then we venture into our amazing tour.
Okay. I think we have had our introduction for our team members, and I think if there is any question, this is your time to ask about our personal stories, but that is it and shall remain the way it is. Yes, I've been telling you that we have a lot to tell you, what we expect to share with you wherever you are. And one of our expectation here is at least to tell you about the transition of Nyenga Foundation, most especially the children home into a senior community, and what does it mean for Nyenga Children Home to turn into a social innovation academy, and what is the difference between the Kiira Innovation Academy, the SINA Global, then the Nyenga Foundation. That is one of expectations. And another expectation that we expect to tell you more about it is the impact, the long impact that Nyenga Foundation, our sponsors who supported us in the replication journey, had made for over 15 years of existence in Nyenga region. We are going to share a lot about that, and we are going to actually forecast whatever has been done on ground and what it means for Nyenga Foundation to be in Nyenga. So there is a lot we expect Q&A. You asking questions, we answer them according to the existence here. We answer them according to the expertise we have, and we cannot hesitate to hear from you about the feedback according to how you'll see our tour, what we need to change, what we need to do about, because we are just here for your feedback. And maybe before I push this to one of the person who is going to take us through one of the information, maybe may I also, if there is any person who has any expectation, can he or she put it out? Okay, if there is none, I can say we can start our what we have for you. So I'm inviting Hope to tell me more about the difference between the Kiira Innovation Academy then Nyenga Foundation. What it means by having Kiira Innovation Academy here in our already existing Nyenga Foundation. Thank you, Hope. You're welcome.
Okay. Thank you so much. Before we go in for our tour, before us existing here, there was an orphanage, and due to the announcement of the government for the orphanages to close up, so our funders sat and they really wanted to continue impacting the community. So that's how we came in as a senior community here. So they took us for the training to be able to replicate the senior model here and impact the youths, since the orphanage is not here anymore. So we are replacing the orphanage. If the orphanage was not in existence, I don't think we would have been in existence here. So we are so much grateful to everyone, to Anagrete and Anamete and other people that have supported us in our existence here in Nyenga. So the more of the story is will be in a tour that we are going to take you guys. So welcome so much to our tour. Let me hand over to Charles to take us through the tour.
Dear our online viewers, I am taking you through our beautiful Sina that is just 2 months old. It is existing in Nyenga community, and it is coexisting with
an organization called Nyenga Foundation, from which part of its sector transited from an orphanage and into a social innovation where we are existing right now. So I welcome you as we get into details to understand what will happen here. Yeah, so right here we have our social innovation canteen, Kiira Nyenga Social Innovation Canteen. It is basically a canteen where the community will be getting their eatables and drinks and everything. But also we are going to use it as a learning avenue for our scholars to experience what happens in business. Yeah, to experience how they do bookkeeping, how they do purchasing, inventory, and things like those. So this canteen was donated by a group of people in Norway who found it prudent for the late Nick, because Nick is a name of a brother to the founder or to the people who found interest in us replicating a sinner in Nyenga. So when he died, people in Norway contributed to build this canteen since he had a background in business. And so they built this canteen basically for purposes of business in memory of Nick. Yeah. So this is all about the canteen. I'm inviting you to also move on and experience and also get to understand how our sinner is looking like and what kind of impact it is going to create. So everyone, this is the piece of land for our Kiira Innovation Academy. So from the gate sloping down to that building that you're seeing there, and then also a little bit down, and then this side, this is the SINA premises. And the buildings that you're seeing here are also part of our SINA. We shall use them to give our scholars sessions. These other two buildings in the sides will be used for sleeping in. Apparently, as we have our first cohort of scholars, we may not have scholars sleep within the premises due to limited budget, but in the near future we anticipate to have them within, because the SINA model also supports scholars when you live with them. Yeah, it is very important at some point when you live with the people that you're impacting, when they look at the way of life that you're living, they really get to learn from it, and then they get different inspirations. They are open to share with you their challenges when you live with them. But when you don't live with them, at some point it is tricky, for example, for someone to open up and tell you something. So the land that you're seeing there, we shall also utilize it in the near future, probably when we have enough funding. We can have our guest wings there as a sustainability plan. Yeah, so this is the center of our SINA. Like I told you, we have the buildings, one on the right and also one on the left. And then also the other one that you're seeing, we'll basically use this as our learning center where scholars will have sessions, engagements, where they will be making their research on their different devices. And then the building on my left will be used as a sleeping area for our girls scholars. And then the building on the left will be used as a sleeping area for the boys scholars. Yeah? So for that, I also want to take you around behind to get to know and to understand what is happening and what is going to happen. Yeah, so right here is our powerhouse. When I talk about powerhouse, you know what happens there. So the cookery, the cookings will be done here for our scholars and also the partners that we'll have around. So behind here, our scholars are going to, to be washing, just like you see the hang lines. So they'll be doing some washing and then other cleanings, yeah. And these hang lines will be supporting them to, it is a place where they will be hanging their clothes and tied up themselves. This other part that you're viewing will be, sometimes we'll be having our morning check-ins or the meet and greets, or also maybe in the evenings, people can come to chant, to have kebi, to share different perspectives on different topics. Yeah, so they'll be using it basically for that and any other thing, since it is a free zone, a free space where everyone is free to do whatever they want, but in a responsible manner. So right now we are going to check out or to visit around the coexisting organization, which is called Nyenga Foundation, which is coexisting with us. And actually, I forgot to mention that it is through Nyenga Foundation that the idea of a SINA came. Because the founders of Nyenga Foundation are the ones that funded the first adopters of the SINA model to come and replicate it here. Yeah? So I'm happy to take you through a process of understanding what Nyenga Foundation does, what impact have they created in this beautiful community of Nyenga. Okay, so this, since it is part of our land, and land is already fertile, and we receive ample rain in a good period of the year, so we use part of this land as a sustainability plan where we plant different crops like you're seeing. There are tomatoes here. These tomatoes can be sold and then earn income out of them to support the organization. ONG. So apparently, since Nyenga Foundation is only here, like it has existed here for 2 months, so these tomatoes were planted by people from Nyenga Foundation, and they are already making money out of them. Yeah. So right here is the foundation's hospital. It is not only supporting people from within this community, but also around the community. So this hospital is basically supporting people in so many ways. Like, for example, mothers are coming to attain antenatal services and also delivery. And also it is supporting people who are suffering from different diseases, but where it gets worse, they are referred to other bigger hospitals. Yeah, so I remember the first week when I had just come to this community, I got sick of malaria, and this is the bed that I was given to rest on when I became unconscious. So these people gave me wonderful treatment, and in a few days I got super well. You can come.
We are not coming back that side, we are passing here.
Yeah. So these are offices of the foundation. So Guys, Nyenga Foundation has a school, and in our movements we are going to happen to see it. But the school also teaches students or children about how practical they can be in their community. For example, in this community, people have big chunks of land, and at some point, they don't know much what they can do on these pieces of land. So they teach children or pupils about good methods of farming. That's why you see there are eggplants planted and then mulched at the same time. And then there are also tomatoes planted in a system of permaculture. So you see different crops existing at the same piece of land. This is taught to the pupils in primary school. Isn't that interesting?
That's very nice.
Why permaculture? Because with permaculture, you can grow different types of crops or plants at the same piece of land, and you enjoy them. Around the world, there are tourists or there are guests that always travel to create impact. Yeah? So they wouldn't wish to sleep in posh hotels in the city, but rather decide to sleep on foundations buildings or foundations guest houses or organization guest houses, because they know it that when they pay this money is automatically going to impact on the cause that this organization is working towards too. Okay? Thank you. So I invite you to the organization's farm, which is just close here. Yeah?
Where are the cattle?
It is where we are getting to. Enter, enter, ladies and gentlemen.
Though you cry, you will still remain inside.
By force.
Like this.
You are different. You are very stubborn. You need toilet. Otherwise.
So the cows you're seeing here are also a project of the foundation. These are the mother cows to these baby cows. Yeah. So you may wonder, why are the males not here? Yeah. So the thing is, these cows get pregnant by artificial insemination. So someone comes and then practices artificial insemination. That is when the cows get pregnant and then give birth to the young ones. So the foundation now feeds on ready and bio milk straight from the farm. Yeah. And then the other interesting thing on this farm, it is also producing biogas. Yeah. So here, biogas is created to cook and prepare meals for the school, for the primary school that we are going to see. So biogas, first of all, the waste is filtered here, and then it goes through the pipe that you're seeing. Yeah, yeah. It goes to the biodigesters. The biodigesters, you're seeing them here. So when they collect cow dung, they put it on the other small house that you're seeing for manure in the later stages. which is distributed to the gardens. That's why you're seeing the fertile soils. So through these biodigesters, gas is collected or gas is harvested, and then it passes through through the pipes. As you see, this is a control center to control the excessiveness of the gas and also for children not to tamper with it the other side. Yeah? So let's get to the kitchen that is using the gate is closed there. So this is how the biogas energy works. If you're using this stove, you come and switch on here, and then we go to the process of lighting our stove. Yeah.
For how long does it take to cook beans, for example, for the people? And then food is ready.
One day.
A week to prepare beans.
So children from the school get safe drinking water from here. It is purified. So this school starts right from kindergarten until lower primary up to upper primary. That is from P1 up to primary 7. So the buildings on the left, scholars or pupils come to take their classes, and then the buildings on the right, the teachers who are impacting them, the teachers who are teaching them, use them as their sleeping area. This supports them not to face challenges of traveling each and every day to come and attend to students or scholars, and it really saves time for them. And then the fields that you're seeing the other side are also gardens where pupils still go and experience how gardening is done, and also under the stewardship of their teachers, their agriculture teachers. They are supported to also not only understand what happens in class, the theoretical lessons that they have, but also to get to feel the practical way of doing things by engaging in gardening, by engaging in farming and rearing, like we have seen the cattle farm and things like those. And the building here ongoing is for the kindergarten pioneers. You realize kindergarten has been the other side of the Kiira innovation premises, and now it's getting shifted here because the other side it's going to be more concentrated on with scholars from Kiira Innovation Hub, and that is why they are building this for scholars to get relocated to here. So in summary, we are going to create a free learning space where scholars come to ideate, to unlock their hidden potentials, to experience, to expertise, to look through the challenges that they have gone through or the communities are going through, to turn them into opportunities. Thank you.
Yeah. So right at the foundation school, I want to welcome you all back. Okay. Yeah, I want to welcome you back from the tour. Dear our online viewers, from wherever, just a snippet of what it means for the Kiira Nyenga Social Innovation Academy to exist and to coexist with a great foundation, Nyenga Foundation. So having had our beautiful tour, I want to send you back Crescent for the next item on the agenda as I join you from wherever you're seated, and then we will see how we can get done quickly. Thank you. Crescent.
Okay, Charles. Thank you very much for our tour. Yeah, it is so amazing. I have liked it. Having toured you through our premises, Kiira Innovation Academy, Nyenga Foundation premises, and having heard a lot of the impact that Nyenga has already done in the community of Nyenga and beyond that, I can give back the microphone to our online viewers to ask any question where they feel they need to understand more. If there is anyone who is interested in asking, yes, Rebecca Simwe, thank you very much. Just raise up your hand, then I can give you a floor. Thank you. Okay, Micah.
Yeah, thank you for that amazing tour you've given us around the premises and different work going on. My question is on, as a senior community that is just beginning, could you paint us a picture of your goals for the first 2-3 years? Where do you see yourself 2-3 years from now in terms of impact?
Okay, thank you for the question, Micah. We love it for sure. This is something that we need to talk about among the team members. I don't know. Charles, can you?
Okay. I'm super happy to be back at the command center. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much, Crescent, and thank you so much, Micah, for that wonderful question.
Yes, it is still Charles speaking. And I was just thanking Micah for the wonderful question. Yeah, so in a few years, being agents of change, being people who have been impacted by the Social Innovation Academy in PG, with the stewardship of different people from different senior communities, and also with the tools and methods that we've been entrusted and given during our trainings, we have really achieved a lot, and we really have the passion. We aligned ourselves to our passions that we connect to, and we want to use this same model that was given to us or impacted to us by SINA to the community of Nyenga. First of all, like me as a person, I have a strong attachment to the community because it is where I come from. When you look at Hope, she also has a big attachment to the community because she also lives close to Nyenga. When you look at Crescent, his passions rotating around education, because Crescent, I think he has forgotten to tell you, but he's one person who has tried out several projects in line with education. And what we are going to do is more of educating or supporting or giving our scholars a self-learning space where they get triggered, where they get supported to realize their passions,
to come up with something that is problem solving to themselves, but also to the communities where they are coming from. So in 5 years from now, we anticipate to have impacted a good number of people around the community. Maybe it can also be approximated to 500. This is our target when we start as a team. We really want to at least impact lives of 500 youth, or it can also be any other person who finds interest in the program, and not only impacting them, but really seeing practical change, really seeing practical solutions coming up to the problems that, for example, Nyenga as a community is facing, or Buikwe is facing, or Ginger at large is facing. Because our happiness will really rely on that impact. And yeah, this is what I can say. Yeah. Thank you so much for the thumb up. Is your need met? Have you met your need, Mr. Maika?
Yes, you've met my need. I just needed the figures and you painted a picture of 500, and that's quite clear to the participants and also to the surrounding community, tangible solutions to their problems. That's quite clear for me.
Thank you so much. Any other question, insight, addition? I can see some messages. Ladies and gentlemen, any submission, any inquiry, any questions? Oh, Micah? No.
Yeah, I can ask another question if no one is asking.
I see someone else. Yeah, maybe you just need to turn down your hand.
No, I was saying I just put it up again to ask another question if no one is asking.
Okay, so we shall have Micah and then Simon next. Thank you.
Okay, as an independent senior community, what is your uniqueness from other senior communities based on the training you've had at Jangu, the different senior communities you have visited, and also the fact that you've taken some time to understand Nyenga as a community where you're located? What uniqueness do you see yourselves having that distincts you as a community on top of the general that every community is doing?
I think you want to start off? You want to start?
Okay, thank you so much. One of our uniqueness, Micah, we realize that with our community, most of our youths are primary dropouts and they don't know much English, however much we want to impact them with whatever we came up with from Jangu International or from SINA. So with our community, we are going to be teaching English because our scholars, some of them don't speak English very well and would like them to be presenting their businesses or whatever they will be doing on different platforms. We want them to communicate their businesses worldwide, internationally. So one of our uniqueness is teaching English. We are going to have English teachers to help us so that we can transform these youths. Thank you so much. Maybe when someone else can add on to something else.
Wow, thank you so much, Bob, for the wonderful submission. Indeed, that is one thing that we looked up to from the time Sina and Jangu started supporting us to go and do community surveys. So we have been engaging with this community right from the time we started attending our program at Jangu in Impije. So having had the interactions with the community, with the chairmanship, or with the local leadership of Nyenga as a community, we found out that there is need to work on the communication, because as SINA, there are different platforms where our scholars will be given to showcase, to sell their project, or to talk about their ideas, and probably maybe at some point will earn a prize and something like that. And you remember these platforms majorly need a communication in English. So we shall try as much as we can to concentrate on that. And then the other uniqueness, Micah, we also want to really not only focus on empowering the youth around the community, but we also want to empower the community at large by giving them maybe having one day in a month where we engage them in a workshop, talk about personal development, talk about career guidance, talk about issues that are paining us as a community. For example, when it comes to climate change, how are we treating climate? Are we consuming plastics and just throwing them on the ground, or we are being responsible to pick them and put them where they belong? For example, in an incinerator around Nyenga Foundation and the SINA that is coming up, there is an incinerator which can regulate, for example, the burning of plastics. Or at some point, these plastics can also be used as innovations, constructing houses, coming up with other different products, maybe wardrobes and things like that. So we shall also engage communities to change, basically to concentrate on the mindset that people have. Maybe this cannot happen, maybe, yeah, something like that. And then also we want to sell the idea of people wanting to love, of the idea of loving climate or the environment that we live in, by taking different tours, maybe once in a while, where we take tours to the shrubs, like you have seen in the tour. Nyenga Foundation is surrounded by shrubs, and these shrubs are important in so many ways. So we want to really also find special days where we get to appreciate nature, go at maybe at the river, read about it, and see how best we can also take care of the river that is just close to us. We have seen water hyping along the river, and it is a dangerous thing to the river. So if we find an initiative that maybe once in 2 months we go specifically to do that, to create community awareness, but also as a social corporate responsibility. But also, apart from those, we are still thinking, consulting, and also finding out more things that we can do. Because at the end of the day, we also want to have a global world. We want to welcome people from different global perspectives, people from different parts of the world, to come and have or get impact or get to understand the beauty of the organizations that exist to support people in their community and things like that. Thank you.
Okay. If Simon is still there, you can ask, then you go to Daniel.
Okay, thank you, Tim. Maybe my question would be, since you just started, how are you able to sustain yourselves there, or where are you getting support currently?
Okay, thank you very much, Simon, for the question. Will you answer that? Okay, I can take over the answering. Simon, but now we are engaged into something we call support from our Mala Sina, which is supporting us in starting up, because it is something that need to also help us in starting at the end. Meanwhile, we are doing fundraising, because there is a lot to do with getting finances. We understand the Nyenga has given us premises, has provided us with rooms to conduct sessions and to sleep in. But with things of food, still we are trying to prepare towards that, and Sena is taking over. And good enough, today, this week, we had a support from the Sena team, whom they came here to conduct a summit about storytelling. And because of that, we got a lot of support together with them, eating together with them, with the budget they made. And that's how we're trying to sustain ourselves. However much we are looking at making fundraising, to make sure that at least we raise some money to get us through to our journey. Yes, I think you're answered. Yes,
Yeah.
Daniel, because
Yes,
of
you have
time,
answered.
I will try to make the questioning short and the answering short. Daniel, you can ask, then we look how we can close this.
Thank you very much
Question
for
in the chat.
And I'm really happy to see you guys starting. And my greetings to big man. Man, you guys are very amazing. So I can see that you are really near to the Nyenga Academy, Nyenga Foundation. And I would be really interested to know which kind of collaboration you have with Nyenga, and how do you think, or in which way you are going to push it forward? This is my first question, and also following the other question is, in which way you think other senior communities can get involved in your activities, or maybe for support or some of the exchange programs. Thank you. You are muted. Crescent, you are muted.
Okay, I was trying to say that people online, you can also go ahead writing under chat so that we can also hear from you, like giving feedback, giving any message that you wish us to receive, asking question. You can also try to write under the chat. We are going to pop the question when time is not our best friend. Then during time, maybe we can also look the way how we can be answering those questions. Thank you.
Yeah, and thank you so much, Daniel, for these wonderful questions. They're really powerful questions. I appreciate. So our coexistence with Nyenga Foundation is really an amazing one, even though we are independent organizations. But like I said in the tour in the beginning, we are here and we are what we are right now. We have all the knowledge, the expertise, the experience to replicate this model in Nyenga, just because of the ideas of Anna Mete and Anna Grete, who first thought through it to see what they can replace of an orphanage. And then I don't know much, but I'm sure also maybe there are other people in the background. And then this is when they get engaged to find more about SINA, what it does, what kind of impact it creates. And then when they found interest in the model, this is when they were like, yeah, probably we can advertise, we can welcome scholars who can go to replicate the model and then bring it to Nyenga, because they also have a really strong attachment to the community for the years they have been here. They are really pretty many years, and they really have so many attachments to the community. So them bringing change, them bringing SINA to create change and to solve community challenges at some point was their motivation. And they sponsored, for example, they also sponsored us throughout the replication journey while we were at Django, when it comes to logistics, when it comes to feeding, when it comes to accommodation and everything. So thumbs up. And there are also other interesting stories behind, because I remember we were in a conversation with Anna Grete, and she told us a story of how money was fundraised for us to go and replicate the SINA. It was money which was coming from selling a piano from her grandparent, which sponsored us to go to. So those are really interesting stories or interesting things, and they show a strong attachment to the SINA. And then our existence also means a lot to Nyenga Foundation. For example, like we said, when it comes to us being all sustaining ourselves in this community, when it comes to the buildings, we found the buildings existing through Nyenga Foundation, and we are using them at this point. So that is really already a great collaboration, that there is a lot of willingness to support us. When I talk of, for example, water, these people gave us water for free for a period of 2 years, and maybe if we are if we are good enough, they can add us more. Collaborations, when we talk about, for example, the electricity, apparently they give us at least some electricity for a half a day, which is also interesting. We do the charging, we do some work when it is during the day. However, we are also anticipating to have electricity. They are doing this just because it is not enough at the foundation, and they have a health center which needs to preserve the medicines and also the vaccines. That is why in the evening power is off, and yeah, it's needed more so at the clinic or at the hospital, sorry. And then there are really so many collaborations, good ones. When we talk of the school has supported us, the headmistress, the seats, the chairs that we are using at a current state, they are not ours. So they are willingly giving us a lot, so many things. And the accounting office has also supported us in case we don't have funding at a certain moment. Their office supports us in the sense of also reimbursing back at a certain point. So these are really good collaborations that we have had so far. And then with the second question of the collaboration with the SINA communities. Yeah, if I got it right, so we are also looking at, of course, like the culture of SINA. Like you see, for now we are hosting a SINA Global Summit about using the tool of storytelling. So with these summits and workshops, we hope to emphasize collaboration, because we are all in the same umbrella of SINA. So collaboration is paramount. We are also devising to have more extended programs where we learn from each other, where we update each other about maybe something new. Maybe there is a technique in training that has come up and it is interesting and it is easy for scholars to copy. In that sense, these kinds of collaboration will be really important. But also when, for example, when it comes to manpower, it is also paramount to support one another, regardless of whether there is a commission or not. Like, for example, one of the co-founders from Arise is also willing and looking forward to support us when we have our first scholarship selection and sessions. He's willing to support us, like really to give the first sessions or to support us co-facilitate together as we grow slowly by slowly. So we anticipate to have this collaboration with other seniors in this sense. Thank you.
Okay, thank you everyone for attending our online event. Both people who are on ground now and people who are online. I hope there is no more question, and maybe we are just requesting for getting vision a reality. Yes, really we need a lot to do, and we need a lot of togetherness to support each other so that we can get where we want to be. Yes, I can say if there is no any other one, our event is officially closed from here. Thank you for attending. Have a good time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
it's almost getting back here, and we say bye. Daniel. Ah, merci beaucoup.
Guys, best. See you.
Bye, thank